Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In the previous video, we have completed login API of Article Hub project. If you have not seen that video, just go to description and check out the link. So in this video, we are going to write more APIs related to app user. So let us start with that. So before that, we also need to do a small changes in the web app config file. You can see inside app start folder we have, and here we have added one extra comma in double quotes. So just remove this and save this one. After that, we have to go to the model, right click on this model folder, I click on add, and we have to go to the new item. And here we have to go to the code, and here we are going to click on class. Okay. So here we have to set the class name is as token claim. So to extract the token claim, after that we are going to set that values in this one. So we are just creating a model, and here we can write here prop and press tab 2 times, so it would automatically write the code related to that particular, you can see like this. So you can also write it manually, so string, and here we have to just write email. So get and set is generated for this one, so I'm going to write here prop tab 2 times, and you can see, and here I'm also going to write a string, and here I'm going to change this to is deletable table and save this. And after that we have to just close this one, and then we have to go to the in this token manager class which we have created in the last video, and inside token manager method, sorry class, we have to create one more method over here. So here let me scroll here, and here we have to create public static token claims. It will going to return the claims which we have created. So if I scroll, you can see the models going into import. So token claims is there, and then we are going to write here validate token, and in this we are expecting a raw token, whatever the token we are going to get, and with the curly brackets, and press enter. After that, here we have to first create token claim object here. So token claim, new token claim, and then we have to string. Whenever we send the token from UI, so let me show you. So first it will contain a bearer, and then it will show the user token, right? So whatever token, it should be a space is there, then token we paste, and then we are going to send it to the backend. So in that way it works. So we need to split whatever the token we are going to get. So raw token, this one, and dot split, and when we have to split, if we get here single, and you can see single quotes and space in between. So whenever you get this value, then you have to split, and token, then we are going to get the token. So array, and at first position array, and first position we are going to get the value. So just write like this. After that we have to extract the claims. So claims principal, and principal is equals to here get principal, and inside this one we just need to pass the token, put semicolon, and this get principal we have to write the code for this one also. Let me comment this one for now. And first here we are going to create a method here. So let's create here public static and claims principal, this one, and get principal, this one, and here we have to just write token, press enter. Inside this one we have to write try catch block, and here we have to just write exception, e, and in this exception, whenever it generated, return null. So like this. And the try block we have to write here we have to write JWT security token handler, this one, and then we have to write equals new JWT security token handler. Then we have to create JWT security token, this one, JWT token, security token, and then inside this one JWT security token, and then we have to write token handler dot read token, and then whatever the token we are going to get, just pass it over here. And if GW token is equals to, then we are going to return null. In else condition, you can say after this one, so token validations parameters, this one, just write validation parameters and new, this like this, and remove the semicolon at the end, then press enter, put curly bracket over here, press enter, and inside this one we have to write like what are the which is need to parameter we need. So here require expiry time, and it should be true, and validate issuer, so I just want to set it as a false, so just write like this, and validate audience I want to set as false, and users signing key, so this one here we have to write new symmetric, and here we have to just write symmetric security key, so just write this one. Inside this one encoding .ut8.getBytes, and then inside this one we just need to pass the secret token which we have created, and after that put semicolon at the end of this curly bracket, and then here we are going to create a security token, this one going to create an object security token and put semicolon after that here, and then we have to return claim principles, so claim principal, and then principal here equals to token handler dot validate token, and inside this one we need to pass the token parameters, validate parameters actually, so validate parameters dot, and then we have to pass the security token like this, and then we have to just return principles just like this, put semicolon. So after that we have to get back to at this place, remove this one comment section, the line, and then we have to write here, let me scroll a little bit, and here we have to write claim email is equals to principal dot find first, and here we have to just write claim type, this one, and then dot email, and token claims the object which we have created, in that we have to set the value, so email is there, inside this one whatever the email we are going to get, and then dot value, so we are going to set like this. The same way we are going to do for other, so claim, and here is deletable equals to, and principal dot find first, and here we have to just in double quotes we have to just write is deletable, put semicolon, and then token claims dot is deletable, and we are going to just set the value, and then we have to just return whatever the token claims. Okay, so write like this, put semicolon at the end. By this codes we are able to actually extract the values from the token which we are getting it from the user. Okay, so now we have to create here one more class which is going to be check whatever the filter, it's something like filter, so it will secure our APIs. Okay, now let's click on this article hub project, right click on this, click on add, and click on add new item, and we have to go to the code, remove this one class one name, and here we are going to write here custom authentication filter, and then we have to click on add. You can see a file has been created. Inside this one we have to write the code to secure our APIs. So inside this one we also want to create one more class, so let's write that one first. So public class and authenticate authenticate, and here authentication failure result. And in this one we are going to write http or action result. This one we need to select, press enter, put curly bracket, and here we have to just create this like this failure. After that we have to write public task, and then we have to task, then here we have to write http response message, this one, and then we have to write execute async, and here we have to just write cancellation token, put like this, put curly brackets. Let me scroll a little bit, and here we have to just write http response message, write like this, and in this one here we have to write http status code dot unauthorized. Let me minimize this one. Okay, and after that we have to return, so here we just need to return task dot from. Okay, here we have to write task dot from result. Okay, task does not import, so if I click on this one, you can see using system thread.task, just click on it, and after that from results, and then we have to response the message, whatever this one response, we can just copy it over here, just put semicolon, and you can see error has been removed from this particular class. Now we have to go to this class and we have to implement here. So here we have to just write authorize attribute, so just import this one, comma I authorize filter. Okay, so not this one, so I authentication filter, we need to write like this, so press enter. From http we are going to import, and inside this one we have to write public async task and authenticate async. Inside this one http authenticate context, this one we need to import, and context or cancel token, and cancel token variable we are going to create, and this one a curly bracket, then http request, and here we have to select message, and request we have to write like this, so request and equals to context dot request, and authenticate header, value, authentication header value, this one, and authorization is equals to request dot headers dot authorization. So we are getting the value over here, put semicolon, and then here we have to write if authorization is equals to null, in that case, or authorization dot schema is not equal to bearer, or condition string dot is null or empty authorization dot parameter. So in that case we are going to get inside this one. Okay, so just press enter, and here we have to call context dot error result is equals to new authentication failure result, this one, put semicolon, then return. Okay, and after that Here we have to just write context dot principal is equals to token manager dot get principal, this one, and authorization dot parameter, like this. Put semicolon, and it should remove the error. Okay, after that here we have to create one more method over here. So public async task challenge async, and here we have to write http authentication challenge context, and context will be there, and then cancel this. See, it will be the same, and after that curly bracket, let me scroll, press enter over here, then where result is equals to await dot result, okay, await context actually, and then result dot execute async, and then we have to pass the cancel token. Put semicolon. If result dot status code is equals to http status code dot unauthorized, in that case result dot headers dot www authentication dot add, and here new authentication header value, and inside this one we have to pass basic comma real, and then we are running on localhost, so just write here localhost and put semicolon, and then we have to write outside of this one if condition, we have to write context dot result is equals to new response message, and then we are going to return the result. Put semicolon. After that, save this. Okay, here it's throwing some kind of error, so let's test it out why this is generating. So here actually first need to change this one, response message result, this one we need to change. And if I scroll a little bit up, you can see we are importing this one system.wait.mvc, so we have to just change this one is to http. If I press right like this, and you can see error has been removed. So all these things you have to import it from http. Okay, and after that we have to test that this code is working or not. So for that first we need to create an API. Okay, so let's go to the app user. So let's go to the controllers, go to the app user. Let's scroll it over here inside this one below, and let me remove this one. Press here public, and here we have to write http response message, and then here we have to just write add a new app user, like this. Form body we are expecting, and the type of this API will be, so http post method. So http post, here we need to write, then we have to route set to route, and here in the double quotes here we have to write add new app user. Let me scroll a little bit down, so here you can see, and inside this one we need to write like this, try and catch, and here we have to write exception if any exception generated in that case. And if I here we have to return request dot create response, inside this one http status code dot, it should be internal server error, and then we are going to return whatever the error. And in this one try block, I'm just simply going to return some data here. Let's say some text over here. Let me make it as this one as okay, and here I'm going to write here just let's write test API. Here we are going to write like this. Okay, save this, and as of now you can see this is a post API. I can text let me start this one first. Let me start this one, and okay, the error is there, some kind of error. is there. Okay, double click on it. On custom authentication, we have some errors. So let's scroll back to the custom authentication, and so here we did not put the parenthesis, so just put it over here. You can see here in if condition we forget to add parenthesis at the end, and then we have to get back. Let us start this one, and then we have to open the postman, and we're also going to copy the URL. So I'm going to copy this one. I'm going to hit it over here and paste it over here. Let me here app user, and then we are going to change this one API name. So I'm going to get the API name. So in app user we have set this one, so just copy this one and paste it over here, and then we have to change this one to post API. I'm going to directly send this API, hit this API. You can see test API we are getting in the response. We are getting 200 OK response, because till now we did not implemented any like filter or in this one. Okay, so that's why it's returning the data. So now it's time to implement that. So here let's minimize this one. Let me stop this one. And below this add app user, we have to just put square brackets, and then we have to just write custom authentication filter. Whatever the class we have created, we have to just paste it over here. After that, just save this. Let me run this one, and let's try to test this one. The API will be same. We have to just wait for a few seconds to start the server. Okay, and let's go, and here we have to just hit the API. This time you see we did not receive any data. We are getting unauthorized error because that API is secured. If I want to access the data now, so I have to use JWT token. So let me change here the URL, and let me try to log in, and then we're going to get a token over here. So let's test that also. You can see I'm getting the token. Now I'm going to copy this one token, and I'm going to this one authorization, and here I'm going to set the JWT token bearer. You can see, and okay, sorry, not this one, bearer token, sorry. Yeah, you have to go to the bearer token. I'm going to paste it over here. If I paste it over here, then if I go to the header, you can see there's an authorization is there, and inside this one you can see there's a bearer space, then whatever the token we have pasted is visible. So in this way we are sending data to the backend. If I try to hit now, it needs to be returned our data. You can see now we are getting the data. If I made any changes in the token, so it means that it is a wrong token, right? So let me hit it. You can see your authorization or error message you are also getting. So it means that our API, whatever custom filter we have implemented, everything is working as expected. So now let's get back to the VS here. Let me stop this one. And now we have to write the code for add new user in our database. So here I'm going to get here we have to write app user obj and db dot app users, and then we are trying to find in our database whatever the credentials we are going to get it from user. So u, and here u dot email and app user dot email, and here dot first or default, this one, put semicolon. So in this way, actually app user, if I click on this one after clicking control, you can see this is a DB set, and from here you can access the tables, data and all. You can perform all the operations. So from here we are using getting the data of app user, and we are searching with the email address or password, and whatever the first it is going to find with the email address, it just directly going to get it for us. Okay, and as for validating that if any email address already exists, for that purpose we are doing this. Okay, and if you if user obj user obj is equals to null, it means that the user does not exist with that particular email address. So here we have to just write app user dot status. So these values we are not expecting from UI, so I'm just going to paste it over here. So app user dot is deletable, and let's make it as true, and then we have to save in database. So db app users dot add app user, and then we have to write db dot save whatever the changes happen. We have to just save this one, and then we have to put semicolon. Then we have to return. So return should be just like this. Let me copy this one, and here we have to just paste it over here. And here we have to change the message. So let's delete this one. New curly bracket message, and here we have to just write successfully fully registered. And then in else condition we have to just return like email address already exists, so just copy this one, and here we have to just paste it. And here we need to change this one to bad request, and here we are going to return a message email already exist, this message. Then save this. Now it's time to test the API. So let me go to the database and let me show you what are the users we have. So if I select this one, you can see 2 users we have. Let me run this one. And here you can see server has been started. And if I go to the database, then we have to pass the name, email address and password, and these 2 fields we are setting it directly from API level. So here we have to go to the body, we have to change this to raw, and we have to change this one as JSON. And here I'm going to write here name. So here I'm going to write name, here test user 1 2 3, and here I'm going to write here email, and here I'm going to write a test user 123@email.com. okay, here we don't need to put comma, and after that here last we have to pass the password. So password, and here we have to just write test user. And if I try to hit the API, it need to be work. Okay, so we are getting error because we did not we have made changes in our token. So I'm going to return copy paste the same token again. I'm going to try to hit this API, and this time it needs to be returned successfully registered. You can see the message. If I go to the database and if I execute it, you can see we have 3 users now, and you can see all the details related to that particular user. Now I want to test that. I want to use this second ID user. You can see I want to send that email address in the body. Let's try that. If I send this one, it needs to return the bad request error. You can see we are getting bad request error and email already exists error. It means that our API is working as expected. Now let's get back to the Visual Studio. Let me close this one. And after adding a user, we want to get all the users. So we have to write the code for that. So now we have to write here. So write here public HTTP response message, and this should be get all app user, put parenthesis and curly bracket. Let me scroll here, and in the and here you can see in this message we have write the wrong spelling. So successfully register, just change it. Okay, and after that we have to put the path of this particular URL API. HTTP get method first need to set, and then we have to put route and what type of URL. So here we have to set right add get all app user, and then we need to put the authentication. So custom authentication filter we need to write like this. Let me scroll this one. Then we have to put try catch block and catch, and here we have to put exception E, and then here we need to just return request dot create a response, and here we have to just write HTTP status code okay. Internal server error, as it will be internal server error, and whatever the error we are going to directly return that. And in try block, first we have to get the token, and the token we are going to pass it to the token validator to get the token claims actually. Okay, so here does dot get values, get values. Okay, headers dot get values, and then we have to put here in double quotes authorization and dot first. So write like this. And token claims variables we have created, and from token manager we have created a class that is validate token, and then we are going to call and we are going to pass the token. And here we are going to check that if token claim is token claims dot is deletable is equals to false, in that case we have to return all the all the app user by removing only super admin. Okay, so for that we have to write var result and db.app users to access the db, and done select here and u and like this. Okay, equals like this, and here we have to write new and u.id we want to select u.name, u.status, and comma u.is deletable. So this one, and we also want to get that u.email address, so u.email address. And after that we have to go to the next line of this one and dot where clause we want to use, and here we want to search by by condition actually. So is deletable true, then only we want to return all the users, and it should be converted to the list. So just like this, and put semicolon at the end. You can see the complete query. And after that here we have to just return request dot create response, and http status code is okay, and then we have to return whatever the result we get, put semicolon. And after that we have to put else condition, and in else condition we are going to copy the exactly same query and return response and paste it over here, and you can just arrange it this one. Okay, and here after that we just need to do small changes inside where clause, as this is API is going to be accessible by not super admin, normal admin, so you can say. And for that case we does not want to return okay the particular user email so that they can edit. So here we have to just write token claims dot email we are expecting, so just email right here, and other query will be exactly same. Then save this, and as we want to see that actually we get the claims or not, so I'm going to put here debugger, so just put it point here, and which query is going to be executed, so I'm going to also click it over here, and I'm going to run this one, and then I'm going to try to test this. Okay, so it will start the server, and we have to wait for a few seconds. Now server started. Now we have to go to the over here, and here we have to just write get all app user. I'm going to change this one as a get API. I'm going to hit this one, and you can see we are at debugger point. If I click on here, you can see step over, and if I hover on this one, you can see there's a bearer, a space, and whatever the token you can see over here. If I click once more, you can see it moved to the next one. If I hover on token claims, if I extend this one, you can see the admin@email.com, and you can see the is deletable is false. So it means that we are able to extract, and this one is false, so it will going to get inside this one. Let's try this one. You can see it get inside this condition. If I click next, it's going to return the response, or it's going to execute related database, and then we have to click next again, then it's going to return. Okay, so it's also going to other, and here you can see finally we get the data. You can see we are getting 2 users because 2 users are not super admin, or they are just admin, so we get the 2 users. If I go to the database, if I execute this one, you can see we have 2, right? You can see here these are the 2 that are returned over here. So let me do one changes over here. So let me click on edit, and here I'm going to set here I'm going to remove and set it as true. Save this, and we are going to execute this. You can see the status has been changed to true. Now I'm going to try with this email address and password. I'm going to try to generate the token. So I am going over here, I'm going to paste it over here, and here I'm going to change this one as true user. Click hit API. Okay, it's get into this one. Just click and we have to move next. Okay, and okay, so just to start over, so you can see we get the token. So these steps is not required if you did not put the debugging points. Okay, so whenever you put the debugging point, you need to move to the next and all those things. Now I'm going to put the token over here and I'm going to hit the API. This time it should go to the else condition. So let me try also that. Next, and you can see it's went to the else condition. You can see directly if I click on next, it will going to execute the else condition. If I click on next in the same way, or we can just start over this one. Let's wait for here. Step out. If I click on step out, you can see it's returning only one user. You can see it does not return those user whose deletable is false. So it means that our API is working as expected. Now let's stop this one. Let me remove this one token. Now here we have to go to the app user. Let me remove this debugger points, and let me also close this one. Let's scroll over here below this. Now we have to write the API for update user status. So first we have to declare the HTTP like which type of methods. HTTP post method I want to use. Let me scroll this one dot, and here we have to just route, and in double quotes here we have to write update user status, and here we have to just write custom authentication filter. Okay, and then we have to write here public HTTP response. Okay, it's throwing some kind of error. Okay, here we have to just write R. You can see, and okay, so here HTTP post and route. Okay, here. Okay, it's inside this one API we are trying to write it. That's why it's throwing error. So just cut this and get outside of that one and paste it over here. You can see error has been removed. And here we have to just write response, HTTP response message, and here update user status. So this API only going to update whatever the status of a user, and here we have to just app user, and then here we have to first write try catch block. So try and catch exception E, and then we have to just return. So return request dot create response and HTTP status code dot internal server error. Then we have to return whatever the error, and in try block here we have to write app user and user obj and db.appusers.first or default. So we are going to search here and here we are going to expecting that u.id we are getting it from UI, and then we have to match with appuser.id. From this variable we are going to get, and we are going to search with the whatever the database we are going to get. We are going to match this over here, and we also put a condition that it should, whatever the value is going to be updated, you should be is deletable is set to be true, else it will try to update the super admin. So we don't want to allow that, so that's why we have write like this. After that user obj is equals to null, and in else condition okay, not else condition we required here. So in if condition, if it is null, it means that the ID, whatever the ID which has been provided, that is wrong or it belongs to super admin. So in that case we are going to return request dot create response here, and HTTP status code dot not found error we are going to directly return with the new message, and here we are going to write message and user ID does not found. So this message, okay, here just need to put equals and put semicolon at the end, And here below if condition, here we have to write user obj dot status. Whatever the status is there in the app user, we are going to get in the body, we are going to directly set in the user object, and we are going to save this one. So db dot entry and the user object dot state is equals to system dot data dot entity state dot modified. So this one we need to pass, and then we have to write db dot save changes like this, and then we are going to return request create response, and here we have to just okay, it should be okay type, and then we have to pass the new message. Let me scroll this one, and message here will be like user updated successfully, and save this. After that, here we have to copy this same API and paste it over here, and inside this one we are going to do small changes like update user status. So this time we are going to update the user, so just remove the status part. Okay, so update user, and I'm also going to remove this one, and other part will be till this point, it will be same as we are going to search with the ID and all. And after that, here you can see status we are updating, right? So this need to be changed. So here we are going to update the name and email address. Only these two fields we are updating. So user obj dot email and app user dot email. So user updated successfully, we are the same message we are going to return. So let's test these APIs, and let's run this one, and this time we are going again back to over here. I'm going to change this one as a post method, and this one will be to update the status. So update user status. So here, and I'm going to the body, I'm going to change, okay, here as name and email address. Okay, status we need to update, right? So remove all these, and here first we need to pass the ID. So I'm going to try with the ID 1, and status here I'm going to make it as false. If I go to the database and if I see, you can see status is true, and you can see it is false. So it means that it should return the error. Let's test this API. If I hit the API, it's sending the request. We have to wait for the response. You can see user ID does not found, because we're trying to update the super admin. Okay, here. So if I hit the API, now here I'm going to set change of, I want to update the status of this one. So it's by default its status is false. So let's change this one as a true, and I'm going to set for the ID 3. I'm going to write here ID 3, and I'm going to hit the API. It needs to return user updated successfully. You can see if I write wrong ID over here, if I hit this one, you can see user ID does not found. Let's execute this one. Let's see the updated changes. Okay, so here you can see the status has been set to the true, and for the user ID 3. Okay, so it means that this one is working fine. Now I am removing this status part, and now I want to update the email and name. So here I'm going to write a name here. Let's write a test user, and email address I'm going to pass email at the rate, sorry, test, write like this, test user at the rate email.com. I'm going to update this one, so I'm going to hit this one. You can see, okay, user ID does not found because it's 32 we have written. Remove this one, try to update this one. You can see user updated successfully. If I go to the database, execute this one, you can see the data has been updated in this particular fields. Okay, so it means that but all the APIs of app user is working fine as expected. So this is all related to app user part. I hope you guys like this video, so please hit like and subscribe my channel.